Hey, it's me again. Uh, just as the title says, story time. So, about, I would think about 5 or 4 months ago, I was working for Walmart, and just a little beginning to it, and then move on gradually. I, uh, I applied there to be a overnight or during the day shift stalker. And here was the funny part that happened. So I applied. I got the I got the job if I can complete an interview on the phone. I did it. They said, "Hey, you got the job to be a stalker." And I even what do you call it? It's yeah, it was crap. Man, I'm getting all flustered here. Um so I got the job. And I asked her, the lady on the phone, if it was stalking. She said yes, for overnight. So I said, okay. So I went for an in-person interview just to make sure they know what I look like, right? So I meet up, or I stand at the Walmart for about 2 hours, waiting for a chick that I was supposed to get interviewed by, um, to show up. Funny enough, she called out and nobody told me. So the next best person to interview me was there. Let's call him John just to hide his identity. So his name's John, and he was the, I would think, coach. And if you didn't know, Walmart has a little hierarchy kind of system going on. You got, I would think, so on the very bottom, you got the associates, and then the second level would be team leaders. The third level would be managers that are in charge of your pay, I think, maybe. And then you got the coaches. The coach is basically who you want to talk to for anything or everything, really. If you got an issue, and or if you want to call out sick, or just call out to go on vacation for a week or something. You talk to him, and he schedules you and all that, right? John is a nice guy. I could tell by getting interviewed by him, he was a nice guy, but he looked very, very tired. Soon I would understand why he was so tired, cause night shift, you know. Um, so he interviewed me, and he said, "You're gonna get the job as maintenance." And I said, I was supposed to get the job stalker. And he looked at his paperwork again to just double check. And he said, well, I got you down for maintenance. Fun days, am I right? But turns out I much preferred maintenance over stalking as in my future self right now. Yeah. It was a whole lot laid back. So much better. Um And because it was overnight, he told me because it was overnight, you get a bonus in your pay because of the fact that you have to stay overnight and it is tedious work. So, and I'm starting full time. So, and funny enough, first day there, they throw you into the computer room funny enough, they they just tell you, hey, do some do some testing or these little things, right? To on the computer to get yourself to know things. I'm going to tell you this, future self, as in me right now, it meant absolute jack. The only things you really needed to know was if a school or no, a shooter was on site, or you just you simply is just that. The rest, somebody could just take about 10 minutes to explain to you everything. No, you have to sit in that room for 3 hours, 3 agonizing hours, and then the rest of the night you're doing stuff. See, I was maintenance, right? So I thought I was gonna do some maintenance stuff. Turns out I was so freaking wrong. This team leader of the stalking department, let's call her Tina for the sake of the story. So Tina, she she just she told us to zone, and if you don't know, you just bring the merchandise forward so that it's not in the back. And I didn't know zone because none of the testing told me anything about it. If anything, I only got the shooter on site kind of thing from that entire 3 hour test period. It was so bad, I hated it. Honestly, you didn't even need to do it. You could just have somebody to tell you this. Anyways, I'm off track. So we started doing that, treating me like a stalker. I told her I'm maintenance actually, and she said, "Well, we're kind of understaffed now, so here you go, stalking." Fast forward about maybe about 4 weeks of full-time night shift. Oh my gosh, it was bad. I didn't have the right shoes. I didn't have soles in my shoes. My feet were blistering like crazy. It was so bad. The songs on the intercom were playing on repeat. You got about, well, let's say maybe about 20 songs on repeat. Or just imagine an iPod that your great grandpa would have. That's the kind of songs we're listening to. It's so bad. The catchy ones just start to become demonic screams to me. The lights were just bright as hell, so even if you close your eyes, you're still seeing through your eyelids. Uh, Felt like UV rays were hitting me, even though it was just a freaking light. It was so bright. Honestly, I felt really hot because of the friggin' light. It was so bad. Um, but among other things, if I could tell you one thing about Walmart, your first, or no, not first, on my first 2 weeks, the pay, it made me think otherwise about my feet hurting. It was by far the best pay I've ever had. Probably because it was my first job, but still, it was, I think it was 16.50 an hour to be a stalker or maintenance and overnight for full time. It was, yikes, it was amazing. Um, but yeah, it was dandy, and I would think that uh, crap, I'm losing train of thought. It was, where was I? Oh yeah, it was working hell, but 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks you get paid, and overnight pays you so gosh darn much that it's just by far amazing. However, the team leader I had was so crappy, couldn't explain jack, told me that the way I was doing things was crappy, and even though nobody explained nothing, the 3 hours in that computer room, it does nothing. You have to tell me or else I won't understand. And yet she just tells me, Tina tells me what I'm doing wrong, but she won't tell me beforehand so I don't do it wrong. And she's just overall crappy to me, honestly. But I regress. I'll I think I'm gonna make a little series. We just hit the 11 mark, or 11-minute mark. I'll see you in part 2.